deep to left center field. Back it goes and gone. The 0-2 pitch. Hey, struck him out swinging at 101. Swinging a drive, left field and deep. Back it goes and gone. And the Twins walk it off again.
All right, it's Friday at 9:35, which means we get to visit with Cory Provus, the voice of the Minnesota Twins on television. His appearances brought to us each and every Friday by Welton's Tire Service. The Twins are in Philadelphia, one of the great American cities, to wrap up the 2025 regular season, which is crazy because I figure we just got started doing this each and every Friday, and here we go at the end of September. The only thing it's got to be gnawing at you is that these games don't matter for the Twins. They do, but they don't in terms of playoff positioning.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Ryan's pitching tonight, and so it's going to be a playoff atmosphere just because that's what Philly is right now, and that's how their fans are. It's a great place to watch a game. Loud, intense. They can be vicious to the opposing team, but that's part of it. I love coming here. I think coming here for a baseball game is a bucket list item. And I don't think it's the equivalent of a Vikings fan going to see the Eagles play where there's, that walk to the stadium could be downright dangerous. That's not, I don't get that feel here. Even coming here all these years when I was in the National League with the Cubs and the Brewers, and I never got that feel. I just think it's a great place to watch a baseball game, that I think these fans are into it. Home field is a big deal here. So I love coming here. And for Joe Ryan, this will be as close to a playoff experience as he'll get, pitching in the atmosphere tonight.
We went through the National League rundown off the top of the show, Cory, but Philadelphia's playing. They need to win out, and they need the Brewers to lose out to get the number one seed.
Yeah, that's all that's left here. I mean, Philly's going to I guess Philly hasn't technically locked up a bye just yet, or I don't know they have. I have to think about it because I know the Dodgers were playing yesterday. So, but Philly's only chance to be the one seed is to win out, and the Brewers have to lose out. Milwaukee holds the tiebreaker over Philadelphia, and the Brewers are home against the Reds. So either one Milwaukee win or one Philly loss, and then the Phillies pretty much are going to be locked in as the 2 seed. Now, they're going to have a bye, most likely, and because of that, I don't think they're going to sit their guys this weekend. I don't think they want to sit their guys and then have them not play next week because they don't play it for – so I think those guys are going to play, certainly until we know for a fact if they're the 1 seed or not. Maybe if Milwaukee clinches tonight, then Saturday perhaps maybe is a bit of a rest day. But then Sunday, I would expect all their guys are going to go on Sunday.
For the Twins, they go and win a series yesterday against Texas. Another big day for Byron Buxton with a couple of home runs. And, I want to finish our conversations on Buxton with just – it's been great to see him out there. He's produced. You hope that – can you carbon copy that and take that into 2026?
Justin Morneau had a good line yesterday. We were just chatting kind of casually up in the booth with a few of the Rangers broadcasters, and Morneau's of the belief that he thinks Byron is going to be healthier these next 3 years than he was the prior 3. Because of the offseason that he had prepping for 2025, I think that proved to him that I'm healthy. No doctor, no surgeon is holding me back from my workout. I can do what I want, and my training regimen is right, and it works. That I never heard him say it that way until yesterday. But I get there is some logic to it, even if that speed slows down just a little bit, and it's still among the best in the game. He'll be 32 though next season. But yeah, Morneau's of the belief that what we have seen is not just going to go away. Just an awesome, awesome season. And I'm not following all these incentives that he's hitting. That's important to him and his family and all that. And that to me is not something that I'm studying and looking up. I found out after the game that he hit another one. And great. I'm happy for him and his family. He deserves it. And I just enjoy watching this guy play, and hopefully he's going to be a top 10 MVP, selection. And I think he's garnering so much attention nationally because of only if he was healthy. This is what we could have seen more of. Well, we didn't, but we're seeing it now, and let's enjoy it.
It's a great point that Morneau made, and I thought about that as well. And you're just mentioning that, maybe his best is still to come. We thought maybe we missed out on it. Maybe it's the next couple of years we get to see what we saw all of 2025.
Yeah, I think so, but also part of me, and this was on, I think we talked about this last week, is he going to be back?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know what this is going to look like this offseason. And, I think if the Twins trade Pablo, then the likelihood of Byron Buxton coming back, I think, drops considerably. That's on my mind a lot. As I'm kind of watching, these games here this weekend, I can't help but think in the back of my mind, if this is the last time that we're going to see him as a Twin. I hope not. Yeah. He's awesome, and I know he loves it in Minnesota. His family loves living there. He's been a Twin his whole life, and I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to know him and his family. So I hope it's not the case, but it's certainly in the back of my mind as I watch the weekend play out.
And that was in the back of my mind, honestly, to talk about for tonight's starter. Is this the last time we see Joe Ryan pitch for the Twins?
I mean, Joe is under team control. I mean, Pablo and Byron I put in a different column. Joe is very affordable, and the Twins, are benefiting from the system that's set up right now. He's under team control for 2 more years, so he's arbitration eligible for 2 more years. And he hasn't had a great finish to his season, which I don't know if does that help, enhance, hurt his trade value right now. I don't know that. But I am of the belief that I hope that Joe Ryan, I think he's somebody you keep, and he's somebody that's affordable right now. You need a frontline guy. And he's that. I mean, Joe was an all-star for a reason. I think tonight is a big one for him to kind of not have this September just kind of sit with him and stew in his mind all off season. And the starting pitching has been great on this road trip. I think it's great to see the finish for Zebby and Taj and then Bailey yesterday, despite throwing only 88 miles an hour. It worked. It really worked against a beat-up Texas team. And I think for Ryan tonight, this is an important one. And one of his guy he looks up to is Aaron Nola, and Nola's pitching tonight for the Phillies. We talked about Jacob deGrom as a guy that Ryan's always been a huge fan of. He wouldn't say I'd love to say he's my friend. He's not my friend, but we've met over the years. All-Star game this year, but Nola and Zach Wheeler, who's done for the year, those are 2 guys here in Philadelphia that Joe Ryan particularly admires, looks up to, and picks their brain.
I thought of you immediately when I saw Luke Keaschall slide the other night, and then you guys had a great angle of him. He's immediately in pain because that's how Alan Roden got hurt and was done for the year, and Keaschall's hurt again, which this is a lot for a young man who's dealt with some serious injuries already at 23 years old.
Yeah, and it's the same injury Byron Buxton had his rookie season as well, that slide to the second base. It just So if you notice, Keaschall wears the oven mitt on his right hand, and there's a reason for that. That's more for pickoff plays at first. That if you're you're diving back in, you want to get that right hand on the corner to avoid the tag. So that's why that sliding glove is on his right hand, not his left. I don't know many guys that wear oven mitts on 2 hands. I think that would look. I think of my best friend, one of my buddies, Adam Shine, from school, who does a lot of football. He's got this segment he used to do on CBS Sports Network. It'd be like the hot stove or whatever it was called, and he wore 2 oven mitts. Right? This would be like, it's hot. He'd clap his hands, and so I don't think I could keep it together if I saw a big leaguer with 2 oven mitts kind of running around, almost look like Phoebe from Friends. That would just be weird. Keaschall wore it on his right hand, not his left, but it just looked the speed, the impact, and his reaction. He was in pain. You could see it from the start, kind of biting at his thumb, shaking it. And then that next at bat, when he bunted twice, he couldn't swing. Yeah. He could not swing the bat. And I think that was, all right, that's it. I mean, I think they gave him one time, interesting call, but when Rocco and the staff saw him show bunt twice, and then he laid down the second one, and then Martin got hit in the rundown, I think that was the red flag, like something's up here. Let's see what you got. And it seems like surgery is likely. It's a 6, 7, 8 week setback, but it's not everything happened on his right arm in the past, the fractured forearm. Tommy John was on his right. So this is on his left. It will slow down his offseason training, his offseason program, but hopefully not too much.
Are you worried long-term just the amount of injuries he's had? Is that something that the Twins should be worried about, that the amount of injuries he's had at just at 23?
I mean, what can you do about the fractured bone?
Yeah, he got hit by a pitch.
I mean,
right?
I
Yeah.
mean, there's nothing that he could do about that. And I think he's not the first nor the last young player that's going to hurt the thumb of finger sliding.
Yeah.
I mean, Luis Ariz hurt his shoulder doing that. I mean, Eddie Rosario. I mean, all these guys, I could think of just 5 guys off the top of my head the last 14 years that I've seen in a Twins jersey slide and hurt themselves somehow, some way, and then bounce back. I'm okay with these. It's more of like the soft tissue stuff that's impacted Royce. That to me is more alarming when it's a recurrence of soft tissue injury, because those just stick with you and those don't seem to go away. Whereas these are just, I think, acute. I don't call them fluky because I think Keaschall plays hard. So to say that he's just going to be able to maintain this style of play and come out scot-free all the time, I think is a pipe dream.
Let's break. We come back. Much more with Cory. We'll chat about the division races going on across baseball and getting ready for the final 3 days of the regular season. Back to wrap up hour 1 of Hot Mic on a beautiful Friday morning right after this. All right, wrapping up our first hour back with Cory Provus in Philly. Twins and the Phillies coming up tonight just before 6 o'clock at the great Citizens Bank Park. Just my all-time. Have you done the crab fries? I can't recommend it all. I know you're busy. You can't eat before the game, but the crab fries out in center field, Chicky and Pete's, do it, man. Find time and do it.
Yeah, that's a heavy meal for me, buddy, pregame. That sounds great, and I'm tempted often by so many of the ballpark delicacies that I see, but I
hear you.
I can't eat that. So I'm a very light eater pregame. I don't. If I was going as a fan, I don't think I'd sit. I think I'd want to hang out. Yep. That concourse in the outfield,
fantastic out there,
is so fun. Yep. It's so energetic. And I love that they play the song. Harry Callis sings High Hopes, right? I love that, playing that after wins. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It really is a great place. And I can't imagine, I've never seen a playoff game there before, but I can't, a playoff game there has got to be among the better things to see in our game. And the Phillies, they've got all the pieces to win it all.
I got an email to ask. You're too much of a professional to do this, but Dom, can you ask Cory if he can is he saying any phrases that people may not know, just to test if they're actually watching the broadcast?
No, that's a good idea. We do twice now the last 2 years from our social media team. They do ask the players. There will be a game they pick out that the social media team picks out and be like, hey, can you? Or it's really a series. Can you ask players, what word do you want Cory to get into the broadcast? Yeah. So we've done that now in back-to-back years, and that's fun. And there's some weird ones that are in there. Yeah. And I think people have figured out what that game and what that series is because they're so random. But yeah, so no, I am not doing any of that. But, I'm not oblivious to the fact that I'm sure that outside of my parents and my kids, probably, actually my son, I don't think my daughter watches, but my son's watching. But yeah, I'm not oblivious to the fact that I'm sure not as many are tuning in as they were earlier in the year.
All right. So on the American League Central, I think you and I had a conversation on this in July that we declared the Central race over. How stunned are you that this is a race with 3 days to go?
It's incredible. I mean, this is the biggest collapse in the history of the sport. I mean, they had a 15.5 game lead. And right now they're tied, but the Guardians have the tiebreaker. And Cleveland is set up. I mean, Texas, they're all beat up, and we just saw them. I mean, Texas is going to Cleveland for 3. And the Rangers, they're not going to throw DeGrom anymore. DeGrom's done. They don't have a lineup anymore. I mean, no Seager, no Semien, no Langford, no Carter. Adolis Garcia, he's pinch hit the last 2 days. Now, maybe Bochy approaches it differently because, Cleveland, there's something to play for. I don't know, but they have some good bullpen arms. Don't get me wrong, but that lineup, they can't hit. And so I think Cleveland is set up. Meanwhile, Detroit's got to go to Boston.
Yeah.
They got to go to Boston. And the Red Sox they're I don't think they've clinched yet. Oh, they did clinch. They did not. Did they
I don't believe they've clinched yet. They lost
All
yesterday to Toronto. So.
Oh, Okay. So yes, the Red Sox, they've got a lot to play for, both securing a playoff spot and potential seeding here and there. So, yeah, I think Tigers, they're probably going to have to pitch Skubal on Sunday, right? And so that's going to mess up how they line up a short series. Yeah, it's stunning. It is absolutely stunning what's happened to the Tigers. I mean, they lost 27 out of 39, but they didn't have that kind of lead. And so the Tigers, if they miss the playoffs, that's a massive story.
Well, you mentioned it to me several times. If the Tigers lose Skubal starts, they're not going to make the playoffs. And the other night against Cleveland, they lost a Skubal start, and that's might doom them in the end.
They've lost their last three. They've lost the last three Skubal starts.
Man,
they've lost the last three. And you know what? They're almost gonna. I was thinking about 2008. I was with the Cubs, but watching what CC Sabathia did in Milwaukee that year, he was pitching on 2 days rest, whatever he could do. And he was a free agent at the end of the year. They knew they weren't going to keep him. Went to the Yankees in 2009. Sabathia was pitching on 2 days, 3 days, whatever was needed to get them in. I think Skubal, if you need me tonight out of the bullpen, fine. He's got to be ready to go any way possible here. If that's something tonight, starting on Sunday, they're going to have to lean on that dude a lot.
National League, it's 3 teams for one spot. Mets, Reds, Diamondbacks. Who makes it in your mind?
I think the Mets are still going to get in. I still think the Mets are going to get in. Cincinnati's got to go to Milwaukee, and I don't know about that. Although Hunter Green, I'm sure Hunter Green's lined up to pitch at some point this weekend with the Reds, and he's been fantastic. Where does Arizona finish?
They have the Padres.
Where, at home?
No, that's in San Diego.
Oh, forget it. Yeah, San Diego, that's a tough place. I think the Mets are going to get in. Okay. I think the Mets are still going to find a way to get in. And then, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to play them.
No.
I wouldn't want. I mean, Juan Soto's had an awesome year. I just, with what they did last year, their postseason magic and Lindor, I wouldn't want to play them in the first round of a short series. They proved last year they can find a way to do it. And, I don't really watch much playoff base. I watch the Brewers. I watch the Cubs here a little bit, but there's some intrigue this year. I think it's really open. I mean, I think it's wide open. I mean, the Dodgers. Somebody has to beat the Dodgers in October. Just somebody has to beat them before I can say they're out. And can Milwaukee, just what they've done, will this play in October in a way that we haven't seen before is going to be fascinating. American League. I would have said Toronto about 3 weeks ago, not right now. Yeah. And, if the Red Sox get Roman Anthony back, he's a great player. But Seattle's got something going there. And Brian Woo's injury doesn't look too serious. But the Yankees lineup is deep. They got great starters. I mean, it really is. I think it's going to be a fun fall.
Last thing before I let you go, appreciate always you doing this. We're going to do one more next week. If the Cubs end up playing the Brewers, how's that going to go for you if that ends up being a potential matchup in the division series?
I mean, in that case, I do pull for the Cubs. But if that's the case, then I do cheer for the Cubs just because of, where I grew up. But I don't really lose in that situation because whoever moves on, great. But yeah, if that happens, I normally pull for the Cubs in those head-to-head matchups.
It's going to be great to see the final 3 games of the season. Have a great call to wrap up the season. We'll do one more of these next week, okay?
Sounds good, Dom.
Good to see you, bud. There he goes. Cory Provus joining us from Philadelphia. Twins and the Phillies coming up tonight, 5:30 from Citizens Bank Park, all time. I love that play. I've been out there, more than 6-7 times. I was humble brag here. Went to the World Series for work when Coast was on the team. Electric. I mean, I'm telling you, off the charts. Provus is exactly right. Last year, watching the Mets-Phillies play in the division series, unbelievable. It will be again, even this weekend. It's Joe Ryan and Aaron Nola tonight to start off the final series of the year for the Twins. Honestly, if I was a betting man now, I'd say enjoy Joe Ryan tonight. I don't think there's any guarantee he's back with his team next year. I just don't. We'll break. We come back. We'll start our second hour of the big Football Friday. Get you ready for First Down Friday. Velva head coach Matt Wilder will join us. The Aggies are rolling again. That's coming up when we come back.